Welcome you all. We're going to make a start, but we're already a little bit, it's digital clock at about 4 minutes past, so it's about 25 to 7, I think. I'm not yet formally the chair tonight, so to speak, but I'm just going to mention some housekeeping issues and welcome everyone to the North Cambs Academy, formerly the Manor, where my brother was for a while, quite a long time ago. And thanks to Martin Campbell, the principal, who made a lot of efforts to have this arrangement, the hall tonight and the restaurant area, and it's much appreciated. I'm sure it'll work really well, and we'll hopefully do it again, I'm sure, in the future. So I'm just going to go through just the housekeeping thing before we go on to the election of the chair and the vice chair of the Northern Committee. So on the housekeeping side, we're not expecting a fire alarm, but there are fire exits out the hall here, on the left, my left, and out to the two main entrances. And if you turn right and then left into the main space, you go through to the meeting point, and council officers will direct you if there's a fire alarm and you need to leave the building. The toilets there down the corridor through the red door that way, or out to the right, and down the corridor on at that end there. Just remind you about microphones. There are roving microphones, and do wait till the microphone comes to you before you speak, and then probably turn it off and pass it to someone else. Plenty of spare agenda packs. Also, you should note everyone should have this out on their tables, and it's got a website there, camsit.co meeting update, which you can sign up to, so you can get on the list for any meeting, council meetings, including future North Area committees. So there's a little agenda inside there for you as well. I think that's all the housekeeping things. Just to mention, if anyone is recording in the meeting tonight, if you can respect the wishes of members of the public who don't wish to be filmed or recorded, anyone might indicate that is the case, so I hope you can respect that. That applies to anyone. I think that's it on the housekeeping side, and we'll hand over to Tony Burton, who's the committee manager, who has to do the formal bit about the first item on the agenda, which is election of the chair.
Good evening. As this is the first meeting of the municipal year, we have to elect a new chair. So can I ask for nominations, please?
Nominate Councillor Whiteside Jones.
Is there a seconder for that? Thank you. Sorry. Are there any other nominations? No. What have you elected?
Okay. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you for your support. If we move on to the second item there, which is the election of the vice chair of the North Area Committee. Any nominations for the vice chair of North Area? Yes, Councillor Walcott.
Nominate Charles Perry, Councillor Charles Perry.
And any seconders? Councillor Bird? Sorry, Councillor Tanja?
I'd like to nominate Councillor Austin.
Okay, and seconded for yourself? I'm not sure. Okay. And we have a seconder for Councillor Perry? From Councillor Bird, okay. Can I see all those in favour of Councillor Austin? Two. And those in favour of Councillor Bird?
Perry.
Sorry, Councillor Perry, sorry.
6.
Okay. And that was 6 to 2? Yep. Okay. Thank you. So Councillor Perry, welcome as Vice Chair of the Third Committee. Okay, right, moving on. I'll just mention a couple of welcomes as well. We have one new councillor with us, Councillor Mike Sargent, known throughout Westchester as Uncle Chuckles, as I understand. And also, I also want to mention that particular thanks to former Councillor Mike Pitt, who stood down at the last election. He was formerly chair of the North Area Committee, and I think a well-respected chair of the North Area Committee as well. So thanks to former Councillor Mike Pitt. I'm on to all the rest of the house items. Also flying up the display, which is out in the restaurant area, there are opportunities to see that in the interval. It relates to Fen Road, and there's been a leaflet that's gone around as well, which is like this, I think, to the Fen Road area, explaining proposals for Fen Road, traffic calming schemes, Water Street and Fen Road improvements. So if anyone wants to have a look at that when we get to the break, then you're very welcome. And we'll go on to the next item, which is apologies for absence. I have apologies from Councillor O'Reilly and Councillor Saris. Are there any other apologies at all? Yeah.
Is Councillor Martin? Oh, sorry. Is Councillor Martin?
I'll see.
It's outside directing traffic in.
Yeah, okay.
I think Councillor Smart will join us shortly. He was here well on time, but he very kindly offered to help direct people to the North Area Committee. So I'm sure he'll be joining us shortly. Okay, so just those two apologies. Thank you. Right, I've made the welcome, but any declaration of interest, they can be declared now on the item of the agenda or when we get to the items themselves. So declarations now? No? Okay. So over the page on your agenda sheet, we'll just go through the minutes and the action list. The minutes on a separate sheet. If we've got any comments on the minutes, if we can restrict the comment to minutes that are not on the action list, because we'll go through the action list in a little bit more detail. So essentially from pages 3 through to pages 12. Any comments on the minutes? Are they correct? No, that's fine. Okay. So moving on to the action list, which again is a separate sheet, which you all have. We'll just run through very briefly, which is our custom. Any issues on the action list and any updates. And the first item is relating to Green Road and tree roots. And if you go over the page, you have the very latest update, which is on the 31st of March from Councillor Manning. I don't know if you want to add, Councillor Manning?
I believe the City North Cycle Schemes went to the City Deal Executive Board this afternoon. Unfortunately, I went to work, so I don't know what the result of the vote was, but I imagine funding for them was voted. I don't know if anyone else on the committee followed the Executive Board meeting today, and it went through. Yeah, so the funding for the scheme has gone through, so the approval for the scheme has gone through, and that's what will, at some point. So I suppose we just need to say it will follow the City Deal consultation. But we're not here to make sure it does happen.
Okay, well that will stay on the list as that's obviously ongoing in relation to the City Deal consultation. Okay, the next item related to parking restriction in the Deferral area impact around Open Road Library. You need to go over the page to the last update, which is on the 31st of March from Councillor Scott. At that point there was some double yellow lines, I think, due to be done. I don't know if Councillor Scott has got any update on that?
Yes, the double yellow lines are in the queue, and one just has to agitate to ensure that they remain in the queue and in fact march up to the top of the queue as fast as possible. So I'm acting on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. The next item is myself. Progress with Cheston Sports Pavilion. I have a report from Ian Ross, the Community Development and one of the managers there. The essential part of that is that the new pavilion on Cheston Sports Ground is complete and it's just being handed over from the City Council and the planning aspect of it being handed over. I think its first use will be in School Sports Day, 15th to 16th in June, and then local clubs using it from the 25th of June. And then Cheston Community College will be marketing the new pavilion for wider community use and hire in the future. So that's the update on the Cheston Community College Pavilion. The next item is about Tesco's and the issues there, and Council Price. Over the page is the last update, 31st of March. I don't know if there's anything to add or whether that is ongoing. Council Price?
No, Chair, thank you. I've got nothing to add to that at the moment. We still haven't had the lines reinstated, but I'm not getting complaints at the moment about rubbish there, so I'm assuming everything's all right.
Okay. You want to keep it on, given that there are a few things to complete that?
Yeah, just leave it on, Chair, till we get those yellow lines.
Okay, thank you. Next item is regarding open data and food prices.
Yeah, apologies. This should have been ready for this meeting, but there's been some issues with data sharing, this should be coming up the next time you have a police priority setting. But apologies, I haven't had it yet.
Okay, thank you for that update. The next item related to Camp Kimbo Food Cushions. I understood that the councillor on the phone will be here tonight, but and apologies haven't been given, but she's not here, so I'm not sure if we can give an update on that at the moment. That's all. No?
No, Chair, I've got nothing to add. I might be worth taking my name out of that link now, because it's, you know, I've done what I said I would do there, and it has been passed on to the county, and as I understand it, we are still waiting to hear when those works will take place.
Okay, we'll keep that on and hope Councillor Onosani is able to report directly at the next meeting. The next item, I think, can be taken off the agenda, I believe, and that's essentially being dealt with to residents. Is that right, Councillor Scott?
Yes, that's correct, but perhaps...
Sorry, I'm not doing very well. Perhaps people may be interested that the resident in fact wanted to have bollards inserted at her driveway to stop cars from parking there so that they could go across to the shops. And I have received the information that bollards can actually be put in, but residents have to pay for the bollards if they want that done.
Okay, thank you for that. Does it need to stay on the list, do you think, or not? You're going to...
So if we take it off the list, because I'll discuss it with the residents. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. The next item over the page is myself, and that relates to footpath between Arbourgiven Avenue and Trenchard Road. And we do have a report back on that, and that's from County Council highways officers, and most recently from Jonathan Clark through Richard Lumley, and that is that there are some legal issues relating to the need to transfer ownership from a county council asset but into the public highway, and once that is done and there are legal issues to be sorted out with that, then we hope that some serious work can be done on the maintenance of that footpath, which is in very poor condition, and the large tree halfway down as well, which and the roots have caused a major problem in terms of access along that path. So once we've had a chance to sort out those issues, we'll be meeting on site and hopefully can bring some progress to that particular issue. Okay, and the next item I have is from, I think that probably something can be taken off the list because I think that was the recommendation last time. More light at Buster Street sorted out. Yep, off the list.
Well, that's what I thought had happened, Chair. It's been reported back to me again that that light is still not working. I have spoken to officers who now tell me there is it's undecided whose responsibility that light is. Whether the electricity to that light comes from the shop and is turned off when the shop is closed. So it can't now be removed because I thought it could have been. So if you could just add that I'm now waiting to find out whose electric it is that deals with the lights and when it's switched off.
Okay, thank you. Well, we'll keep that on then. The next item was also from Councillor Onosani, but I'm sure that is something that's been completed. I think the large pothole has been sorted out, so I think that can come off the list. Next item was an item from former Councillor Pitt, and he was unable to report back at the last meeting. I don't know if anyone else in his colleagues took that up on behalf of him with Councillor Johnson regarding Chesterton around toilets. Okay, well if someone else, Councillor Manning?
I'm happy to take it over, Richard.
Okay. All right, thanks very much. The next item we really kind of dealt with at the last meeting, and it's on the action list. I think if there are going to be any further comeback on issue delegation, but I don't know that there is particularly.
What I can report is, because I did undertake to advise Mr Taylor, that at the last full council meeting of the county, I did put forward a motion that number one, there'd be a report to the relevant authority whenever one of these delegations is sought to be exercised in relation to traffic regulation orders, side road orders, planning, etc., etc. Number 2, that there be a report to the relevant councillors, that is the councillor, city and county in the particular area where this was proposed to be done. And 3, that there be annual reports to the relevant authority of all exercises of the delegation. Now, unfortunately, that motion went down 29 to 25. However, all is not lost, because I shall, in fact, report to Councillor, good heavens, what's his name? Councillor Herbert, who's the head of the City Deal Board, that these safeguards would be wise for the City Deal Board to incorporate into the safeguards that they're drawing up. Thank you.
Yes, our dear leader of the City Council, Councillor Manning.
I have to point out, Chair, that at the same meeting I actually proposed an amendment to Councillor Scott's motion, which reports are all well and good, but it would have given the county council members the power to call in decisions of the City Deal Executive Board to change Joint Area Committee, which is a committee composed entirely of local city councillors. Unlike the Executive Board, the decision makers are a majority of councillors not in the city, and I'm rather sad to say that Councillor Scott and her colleagues voted that amendment down.
Okay, well, we're not going to get into a debate about this. We both have a chance to make a point there. I don't know that it actually needs to stay on the list as such. It's really an issue for the City Deal Board to come back on, I think, that one. Right, on to the next item, which is regarding the Meadows Community Centre. I don't know if there's any report back from Jackie Hampson on this, but I know she was having an ongoing dialogue about the review, in terms of community review. I will endeavour to specifically contact Jackie and find out if there's any updates on that one for the next meeting. The next item is something I was also looking into, which is bus shelter in Green End Road in East Chesterton, and what I can report back is after a lot of effort, I finally managed to contact a specific officer for Clear Channel, responsible for the bus shelters, a guy called Keith Stafford. And it was actually quite positive, because I wasn't expecting a great outcome of this. There's only about 2 years left on the contract. However, he is putting together a case for a replacement, second-hand, refurbished shelter, apparently to very good quality, which is looking to put in to replace the bus shelter in Green End Road that was damaged in a vehicle accident. I will follow that up, but he was quite positive, reassuring me that he was hopeful that that would go through. The case, the case in terms of its costs and the replacement has to go to the what he called the main board of Clear Channel for a decision on that bus shelter. But it sounded quite positive, so I'm happy to follow that up in the future. And the final item is about the hanging baskets and the famous brackets in East Chesterton. Yes, Councillor Bird.
Just to say, Chair, that there is a few brackets up, but that's it. And no hanging baskets yet.
Correct.
Yes,
Baskets
Mr. Bond.
are in place.
Are they in place now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I indulge you?
Yes.
About 5 years ago, we actually asked for this meeting.
You want to wait for the microphone, Mr. Bond.
About 5 years ago, we asked at this meeting for resurfacing of the footway by the main bus stop in Chesterton High Street, opposite the shops in Small Fry. It's been done this week.
Oh, right. Okay, well, that's good news as well. And the hanging baskets can be taken off the list, so to speak. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for that. That concludes that item.